Good evening, I am Tomas Guevara Calderon, and this is the channel Rewriting the Reality. Subscribe now to expand your awareness of who we are. Since the beginning of this channel, I have made a distinction between consciousness and essence. This has been on purpose for a better understanding. That is why I also make a distinction between consciousness and the universal consciousness. The universal consciousness is the collective consciousness of everything, and everything is conscious. Essence is what most people identify as the spirit or the soul. Let me explain now that there is not actually a distinction between consciousness and essence. This is fundamental. That is why I repeat, there is not actually a difference between the identification of essence and consciousness. They are not two separate things or entities. Essence is an expression of consciousness, which is the manipulating aspect of consciousness that is created in association with physical manifestations. Now, I am aware that for your understanding, since the 70s Seth expressed somewhat of a distinction in offering essence names, and in alluding to individuality of essences, but I have also countered that in expressing that in actuality, outside of physical realities, there is literally no separation, and that there is no separation of essences either. Essence is an identification of that aspect of consciousness, which incorporates the qualities that creates any expression that is associated with objective awareness. Now, in this, as you cannot separate consciousness, when consciousness is involved in creating physical expressions, physical manifestations, there is an element of personality that is associated with that aspect of consciousness to create the diversity that is desired within a physical reality. Aspects of consciousness express tones that create personalities. That is the identification of essences, which, as I have expressed previously in relation to consciousness, is irrelevant in a manner of speaking, for it is all interconnected and it is all one, and it is not a thing. But, in relation to explanations to you, it is important that you have an explanation that you can identify with in relation to personal identity, which is a very important factor in our physical reality. In episode 22 I explained that our pets are aspects of our personality. These creatures are created by us to nurture ourselves and nurture them. It is a mutual situation. Now, as to expressions of consciousness such as mountains or rivers or oceans or land masses, these are extensions of us. We as aspects of consciousness incorporate a personality to generate objective awareness, which creates our perceptions mechanism, to generate a projection of energy individually which interconnects with every other individual within our physical reality. And that creates a collective expression which allows us to create the projection of the other physical manifestations. We create the earth, the mountains, the seas, equally as much as we create a building. We create the atmosphere, the weather patterns, the movements of the earth, and how it evolves as much as we create any physical structure in our reality, for it is an extension of us. It is an extension of our energy. It is an extension of you, me, and everyone else. It forms in conjunction with how we manipulate energy, and I will express to you that although most individuals presently do not entirely understand this concept, and although they do not entirely experientially know it, we are beginning to realize that our actual physical planet is directly affected by us. That we actually do directly interact with it and manipulates energy in manners that actually create effects with it. I will express to you that although we are presenting to ourselves evidence of how we are affecting in what perceiving to be negative manners, there is also encouragement, for there are some areas of our actual physical planet that are continuing to expand and that are continuing to grow, in our terms, such as certain mountains which continue to grow. This is also connected to our body, and our teeth, etc. It's the same kind of answers that there are some areas that are thriving and growing and just feeling good, and other that are feeling aching, or bad, but there is not one particular or unique direction. Everything is very interconnected, for with our physical body consciousness as with our planet, when we neglect, or ignore certain areas, we are not actively directing them, and that may create physical manifestations. For those are our signals, just as our planet expresses signals that we are not maintaining a communication or an instruction with our body consciousness in a productive manner, so to speak, or in a nurturing manner. This is also what I explained in episode 124 regarding our blood pressure. When we do express signals with our teeth, for example, what we are communicating to ourselves is that we are hard or forcing, or judging ourselves. But it is a matter of noticing and allowing ourselves to be nurturing and to be gentle, to begin to implement a gentleness in energy. Now, there are many different avenues and manners on which we can express that with ourselves, and we can begin to generate that energy. Let me ask all of you. Why do you suppose mothers sing lullabies to small ones? They engage in this action because it is an expression of nurturing and gentle energy, which is calming and soothing and creates an association for the small one of safety. Individuals, whether they are small ones, or whether they are adults, naturally gravitate to what they perceive to be safe. Because there is a comfort in safety. Now, I will express that comfort can be a relative term, for at times individuals may be creating situations that they dislike, and that they do not want to, but that they also generate an association of safety in these situations. And therefore, there is an association of being comfortable in uncomfortableness. But as to the lullaby, that is expressed in a very particular energy, an energy of nurturing and of gentleness. An individual cannot express a lullaby in anger or hostility, or intention, for it would not be expressed as a lullaby. In this it is the same principle. When you are generating some discounting of yourself or pressuring yourself and you recognize that you are creating a physical manifestation as a signal in relation to it, the first direction that I would suggest that you address is to allow yourself to generate a nurturing and a gentle energy with yourself, for that drains the tense energy or the intense energy. It allows it to be released and allows you to move to an association of being safe and being comforted. To summarize, whatever you want can be created in an effortless way. You only need to believe in yourself, meaning trusting yourself, just as Jesus said in the allegory about the mustard seed. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel and keep in mind that you can contact me at the email address that I am providing in every video, and you can get my books at Amazon.com under my name Tomas Guevara Calderon.